Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Admira Strange. I'm a psychologist, but also a spiritual seeker. And all my life, or for most of my life, I believed that New Age spirituality is the truth until I found Islam. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. When you are transitioning from New Age spirituality to a religion, and I think that some of you might be in that breach between the New Age spirituality and one of the strongest religions. There are many questions arise in our head, like those related to past life experiences, reincarnations, hypnosis, and things like that. And also those questions that are related to the existence of hell and heaven, and which path is the right one, and what happens to other people who don't go on that path that you have chosen, and so on. There are so many questions that arise in our mind, and I think it's pretty common and it's normal that we all try to navigate this reality and trying to find the correct path for us, right? One of the things that I was really reflected on for a long time and researched as well is the idea or the concept of hell. And I loved reading and researching near-death experiences because I had one myself, and that was 12 years ago, and I do talk about it in one of my videos in detail. Since then, I've researched near-death experiences like a lot. Plus, I believed in spirituality. I believed that it's very unlikely we have some kind of heaven or hell. More like, as a soul, you become a little bit like far away from the divinity, from understanding who you are. And as New Age spirituality teaches us, you are God and there is no hell. And that's truth. Well, New Age spirituality is not just one set of belief. Actually, there are many paths within that. Some people say it's a religion, but it's kind of many approaches to a set of ideas or set of beliefs. In any case, those who follow New Age, they also have authors and books and famous channelers that I used to follow and I used to believe. And some of them, such as Dolores Cannon, for example, who wrote numerous books on the stories of past lives and what people experienced when they lived centuries ago. And the whole of the afterlife idea that we don't have actually hell. At some point, I have accepted that, even though part of me was protesting somewhat. Because if you think about it, what about those people who cause torment to thousands, if not millions? Some people made hell for others in this world. So will they go to heaven just like everybody else, or will they go to a nice place, basically, like all of us, and we have to share the same space with them? Well, in New Age spirituality, they teach you that, well, their souls will be purified and they will face the consequences for a temporary kind of vision before the gates of heaven will be open to them. Kind of this is the idea. Well, there is no actually heaven or hell distinctly there. But in New Age spirituality, sometimes they say about various levels. And depending on your vibration, what you're resonating with, that's the level you will go to. And some levels might be a little bit better than others, but there is no actual description of fire or torment or anything like that. Or even heaven, really, with all the beauty as it described in religion. So after accepting that as my truth, that there is no actually heaven and everybody will be forgiven pretty much straightforward, for many years I lived with that idea. And at some point, when I became more interested in looking for a deeper truth, then, as you probably know from my other videos, I was participating in shamanic ceremonies, quite a few of them. And what I've realized that even though those ceremonies are there to heal us and our souls, and I was believing that it's all good and it's really great for us. At the same time, I spoke to so many people who did that and they saw a very dark side of it all. And I remember one guy who went to this ceremony of ayahuasca, and he spent all night having really disturbing images, seeing actually the fight or the war between the light and the dark. Basically, it was like really like angels were fighting with demons, kind of like that, by his description. And he said that all night he could hear voices, those demonic voices, in his mind, telling them all the countless reasons for why he shouldn't be here, that guy, why he should end his life. It was torture in itself. That's what he said, for many, many hours. He was disturbed and he was traumatized. The more I started looking into that, the more I saw that there are some people who see visions of hell. And not necessarily these are the people who are believing in the concept of heaven and hell because they're religious. No, there are some people who didn't believe in anything and didn't expect to see it. Then I started researching near-death experiences. And I found that it's not like all NDEs are really positive and built on love and light and all the good stuff. In fact, there is about between 15 to 20% of people, of all NDEs, have pretty disturbing visions, hell-ish or hell-like visions, which got them also traumatized, and they changed them, hopefully for the better. Some people, they actually became pastors, for example. They went deep into religions. They started studying it. And before that, they were atheists. So as I said, in New Age spirituality, you can find many, many people talking about that hell doesn't exist. And that will be, for example, Abraham Hicks with Love and Light. If somebody asks them about the existence of hell, it's all about that our soul is not on that level, perhaps, or it's more like about absence of light in our life than actual existence of hell. So even though it gives you comfort from one side, but from another side, again, I went back and continued studying near-death experiences. And according to some statistics, around 700 people every day worldwide have near-death experience, whether it's good or bad. So out of them, around 15% plus minus have disturbing visions. Why those people don't come forward as much? Well, first of all, some of them do, and you can find some really interesting stories and disturbing stories as well, even here on YouTube, about them talking about the experiences. But also, there might be reasons for that, such as maybe they don't really want to talk about something that disturbs them so much, and they don't want to talk about it publicly, openly in front of their family and friends, talking about something like seeing hell. It can be traumatizing. Secondly, maybe their brain kind of blocked it, the disturbing information, as it does during traumas. Also, another reason why people come here and they tend to have positive experience, well, say 80% of people have positive experience. It could be that they were not shown the whole thing because the divine side or God knows that they will go back. So they are not shown the whole picture of what's happening there. That's also possible. Another reason could be because they were good-natured people, kind people. That's why they were shown a positive side of the afterlife. Saying that, some religious people who try to be good and everything, some of them have seen those disturbing images of hell as well. So what happened on my side is that one night I went to sleep and I prayed and I asked to show me in my dream hell. I just wanted to see it. And that night I have seen a dream. It was a beautiful field, really serenic, nature-like, amazing green field with beautiful trees and flowers. And I was walking on that path and I just admired the beauty all around me. And then at some point it pierced me, the awareness that I'm there alone and I will always be alone. I will be lonely forever. And that was horrible. That was just overwhelming to experience that feeling that you will be alone, lonely forever. And I cannot compare it with anything, really. So I woke up from that dream and I realized that was one of the types or kinds of hell that we can get to. We do know from religious books, we have an awareness, those who are researched about heaven and hell, that there are many levels and types of heaven and hell. And also, after that, what happened is that during the last Ramadan, I prayed Fajr prayer, which is at night, at around 4 o'clock in the morning. And at some point, I just sat down and closed my eyes and I asked, show me hell. I know I'm probably obsessed about this concept of hell, but the thing is, because I've been in New Age for like 15, 20 years, where nobody believes in hell, suddenly you're confronted with this idea that hell is real. and your mind is constantly questioning it. So of course, in the beginning of my Islamic journey, it's very difficult to accept everything in one go. Of course, you question a lot. I'm sure some of you will resonate with this. So that's why I asked the divine to intervene and show me hell, whether it's in the dreams or some kind of visions. So that night when I prayed and I sat down, I closed my eyes and I asked for showing me hell, I saw a place which was lit up with flames, actually big flames of fire, which I didn't believe for many years in. I saw it from outside, from the distance. There was a massive fire, like massive grounds. And I knew that there are countless and countless people there. And they're in agony, they're suffering. And there are, I can't even say how many because it's too many. I can't even say thousands or millions because there were so many. And I was aware that they're suffering like really badly. And the torment was going on and on and on. You could almost hear the screams. And at some point, there was another realization that hit me. One of the realizations that I didn't believe in before. What I believed in before is that even if hell exists, then at some point during that torment or whatever, you can kind of stop and ask for help, for the divine intervention. And somebody will take you out and you'll be helped. The main thing is that you just need to realize that there is help available, right? Well, in that vision, I was shown that it's not always possible. In fact, the torment was continuous and people didn't have even a second to stop and ask for help. That's what I was shown. The realization of that you might not have a chance to ask for the divine intervention anymore in that place. So I know some people still see the concept of hell as symbolic. Some people literally believe it. Some people deny it completely. Some people say it's all the imagination in your own mind. But really, I'm asking you to rethink this concept. What if it is real? Then surely you need to do something about it that you didn't get there, right? So in the beginning of my journey to Islam, I also had other questions. For example, I would read Qur'an and I'm thinking, surely this description of hell that maybe have to be taken symbolic. And another question I had is that there is a description that we can see God directly if we get to heaven. So with those questions in mind, or with those doubts or reflections, I went to sleep. And then in my dream, somebody actually showed me something. First of all, I saw a bench in front of me. Like I was sitting on some bench and there was another bench in front of me. And there was some kind of being of light. Actually, there was a light. There was somebody sitting there, but I could see only light. And that light said to me, yes, you can see God directly. So, which means it's not me, but they specifically deserve that and all that. It means that anyone can see God directly. It is possible. So that was the answer to my question. And another thing, what that being said to me, Quran is the truth. And that just affirmed that I'm on the right path. I'm not preaching to any of you guys where you should be right now. Like I said, I was trading the path of spirituality for most of my life and tried different routes, trying to find my way back to God, really. And eventually, I am where I am. And I hope you are on the right path right now too. And so I would be interested in what you've got to say about the concept of hell and how you see it. And I understand that many of us have very different ideas. And even my own idea have changed more than once during my lifetime. Like I said, at some point I didn't even believe in it because that's what New Age teachers teach us, that we all get purified. There is no accountability. You can do whatever you like. You'll be forgiven anyway. Or maybe through karma and through other lifetimes, you might repair your soul kind of thing. But now, after those visions that I've been shown about Quran, I take my knowledge from there. Nevertheless, I'm interested in what you've got to say. Well, thank you for listening, and I will see you in one of my next videos.